Hey, it's Dan McDonald here, and I have a very special video for you today. I'm going to be interviewing my friend Katerina, and she has a very powerful transformational story, and I actually asked her not to tell me too much about it so that when we do this interview, it'll be much more authentic. So I'm kind of, I know probably a little bit more than you, but I do know that, I mean, the main thing that I think of when I do these videos for the Life Regenerator is the weight loss. That's what everybody wants to do. That's 90% of the game, right? And there was a lot of weight loss, but I guess I understand that that wasn't really, for you, the most important aspect of the journey. But let me start by saying, because everybody wants to lose 70 pounds, right? You know?
Not everybody, but many people do.
I mean, if they have 70 pounds to lose, they probably want to lose it. So can I ask you, first of all, like, how did you gain that much weight? And
how did I
can I ask you what your highest weight was?
Okay, well, hello everyone, and thank you, Dan, for having me here. So, okay, how did I gain so much weight? Okay, good question. I have never been asked that question before, and it's from my childhood because I grew up on a farm, eating anything and everything, mostly animal products. I was very sick, always going to doctor. My medical records were like this thick, always sick. So, and it's just mostly from eating and suppressing my feelings. Very dysfunctional childhood as well, so of course you have to cope somehow. That's how I ended up with being overweight, and it was coping with very unhealthy food. Well, probably healthier than most people eat, not that processed, since you can imagine living on a farm is not as bad as going to McDonald's every day.
So it was like grass-fed, homegrown animal products.
Not really grass-fed, but it was homegrown. Most of the stuff was homegrown. But the thing was that the coping with the food was really the main thing, because that's what happens with everybody. When you eat too much, you are either suppressing your feelings or are really addicted to the chemicals in the food, and that's what makes your brain go crazy after what you eat, of course. So for me, it was a lot of suppressing of the feelings I had and not being soothed and not having my needs met. So that's what I did for myself, soothe myself with the food. And over the course of the years, that has been the biggest struggle for me, to learn how to get in touch with what was suppressed, heal it, and find ways to meet my needs in a healthy way and leave the coping with the food out of my life. It's still not perfect. Life is never perfect, and I don't aim for perfection. But life is a progress, and that's what I strive for, progress, always, all the time. And I've come a long way, I have to say.
Yeah.
And I'm still progressing and learning and healing. So I don't think that will ever be done.
So food was your drug of choice, is what we call it in the sobriety community?
Yeah.
You didn't have anything else that you used?
Anything
mostly
else?
Food?
Well, no, my parents, they would not drink, they would not smoke. That's what was available to me. Food. Yeah, so pretty much that's why the reason why I ended up being overweight.
And then you used you slowly over time transformed into more healthier raw food over time.
Over time, well, I think it was 2009 when I told myself, okay, that was enough of being overweight. I really wanted to change my life. I didn't know how. Everything I knew, all my surroundings were not really supportive of that, so I had to fight everything and everyone I knew to change my life. And so I had to move, it was a lot of struggle, but then, well, of course, when you start changing your diet and start asking yourself questions like, okay, what's healthy actually in this world? Then you come across to that question, how much protein do we need actually? So many people do that, and that was the case for me as well. And I asked myself that question, and I came across many vegan bodybuilders websites and raw vegan bodybuilders websites, and I was shocked when I saw raw vegans and vegans eating just plants and not even cooked, having big muscles and thriving in life and with their health. So that was a big eye-opener when I realized gorillas don't eat meat and have tons of muscles. Elephants don't eat meat and have tons of muscles. That was like the light bulb going on.
So you were thinking of protein in the context of you wanting to lose weight. So you were so inundated with the protein programming.
Not really, but when I started losing weight, I wanted to make sure I get enough nutrients and I don't kill myself. Just like you want to do the right thing, of course. So I did my research, and that's what I ended up with when I came across those websites. And
you decided to eat more plants and less meat?
It resonated with me immediately when I saw that, when I learned that vegans, I can just eat plants and raw stuff and it's gonna be healthy for me. It was like completely like, okay, that's it. I knew it. That
like
moment.
It was one day kind of a thing?
Yeah, one day.
That's what
and
happened to me.
since then, it's been, I've been vegan for 12 years. But with raw foods, it's been just kind of like a plain, very high raw, but sometimes less, sometimes more. I have many still 100% raw days, a lot of them. Even when I went to Costa Rica, those 2 months that I spent there volunteering after my water fast in 2015, that was my completely raw with Lauren Lockman, just fruits and salad. In the evening, that's what we would eat. So that was completely 2 months of the raw vegan.
So so it was 2009 when you found plant-based diets.
2009, I just started changing, and then I would say 2012, learning about the diet and wanting to change my life. 2012 was when I was like, that's it. I learned about veganism and raw veganism, and I knew that
2009, you said, I'm going to change my life. And then you start researching, looking at everybody, all the different stuff?
Yes.
And then what, like the plant-based thing just resonated with your personal vision or perception of what would work?
Yeah, I tried many things since that 2009. I would, try to eat like, healthy and really not many sauces, just kind of plain, but still meat-based, and yogurts, and so I wasn't vegan.
So more of a carnivore.
Still carnivore, like lot of milk, yogurts, and bread, and anything I could find. I guess just less of that. So
you started just eating less?
I started eating less. That didn't help in with the medical problems, and didn't really get me nowhere. I still felt really down, kind of mentally foggy, depressed. I was not feeling well, and then so I just continued doing my research. because something, didn't feel right. I was supposed to be healthy and feel good after,
From
changing.
eating higher quality foods,
Yes.
less busy foods, less sauces and stuff like
Right.
that. So from 2009 you just made the decision, but it was
Yeah.
a while, it was a few years before
Yeah.
you found more of the plant-based.
So I did lose some weight, but I didn't really feel better. So that was the thing for me at the beginning.
I see. So how much weight? I think I asked you this before. I don't know if you were avoiding answering the question of
Which one?
what was your highest weight?
Oh
Is that
yeah,
okay?
highest weight.
Yeah.
That was. I would say. Well, the thing is, I was really afraid to weigh myself a lot, but I remember one time when I weighed myself that I was more than 200 pounds. More like, I think it was 204 or something like that. So, and that was really scary for me to see. So that's
204?
204 pounds.
Yeah.
So that was very scary for me to see.
And you weren't feeling well, you were depressed, kind of like,
Oh no, it was really bad.
and
yes.
that was when you had medical problems?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, a lot of medical problems, always clogged sinuses, mental fog, not being able to focus. And the biggest thing for me was really my periods and period pains. It would incapacitate me for days, and I had to take pain pills every few hours to be able to survive. It was really, really bad. Even PMS and those symptoms were really bad physically, of course mentally too. But that was really, really hard, and I knew that was not supposed to be like that. I was not put on this earth to suffer
But
like
yet,
that.
it's so common.
Yes.
And then as a man, I'm absolutely interested in that topic.
And people make it common, make it very normal, and it's not
But
supposed
we
to be
all
like that.
are kind of toxic, the men and the women.
Yes.
And I always thought that the cleaner a woman got, the lesser that that those PMS symptoms would be debilitating.
Yes.
And I think, because I've been so fascinated by that subject. I mean, I'm not a woman, so I don't know. I get my head chopped off, but but because I've talked to so many women, and then I guess there's a point where you can kind of get too clean, and it like stops. So that's like, you got to kind of, you have to kind of find a nice. It's almost like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, until you can inch your way
Oh,
into a more better physiology.
Balance.
Yeah. And now the PMS isn't nearly as debilitating.
No, it's not. So that was a big journey, of course, and that was my really big reason for all this health journey I went through. So
Just the debilitating symptoms. You know something's wrong, and I got to change this. Was
yeah.
was that more prominent than the weight loss?
I guess both. Both.
You knew
were-
you were overweight.
Oh yeah, of course.
And everyone around you was maybe, too,
Oh,
or
you know what? I was surprisingly the heaviest child in the family. I think it was because I'm also the most sensitive one, and could feel more than others, and it was impacted by the dysfunctionality in the family the most. So that's why I really needed something to cope with.
and
That's
was the
what-
food in your house just readily available? There was
Oh,
no
yeah.
like, don't eat that, don't eat now, wait till dinner, or
Oh,
was it
yeah.
just go ahead?
Go ahead, yes.
Because everybody else was that
Go
way.
ahead and
Yeah.
eat everything. Don't throw anything in the trash. That's the kind of way. The food is precious. You have to eat it, and don't throw anything in the trash, so that you put it in your body and make your body a trash can. Yeah, so that's the thing.
And so,
Okay.
here's the other hot button question that I hesitate to ask, but I need to know now, since you
Sure.
were at 204 at your top. Where are you now, or where were you before you came to see the Life Regenerator and eat all his hella grub and put on like 2 or 3 pounds or something. Sorry.
I have to say I was at 132 before I came here. I did gain a couple pounds here, so because we have been eating durian and all these beautiful salads and dressings that I absolutely couldn't even imagine that they tasted so good. So I'm enjoying, this vacation. I really enjoyed the food as well. So I loved it, and it inspired me to make more recipes like that at home. Not that often, but I probably like once a week. That would be awesome for me. So I was at 132.
A couple of ex-food junkies get together. What's going to happen? Hurrah, bonanza! Every amazing recipe, and then you guys get to see the videos. Now I'm going to clean it back up again, and we're going to get off this novelty train.
I needed this, actually. I needed this because even though I do eat high raw, I wasn't truly eating vital. Like you say, you're a vitalist. You really want to eat the freshest food right off the tree, with the high vital force. So just to see that and see all these markets, what they offer, and the freshness in the food, I really needed to see that there's a higher level of raw foodism, not just anything raw.
Living food. And then I give her a hard time with the frozen stuff.
Yes, it's very convenient to put some frozen fruit in your smoothie, blended and drink it. Still, I guess better than cooked, I would say. Not ideal though. So and you showed me like it can taste as good as the frozen fruit when you make it from
a little bit more work maybe, and maybe a little bit more money.
A little bit.
But the vital force is really important. It's worth it for sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said about 132 before you came. You're probably 135 on the scale now. So I apologize for that, but we'll do a couple days of coconut water fasting to get you back on track. And
I don't worry too much about it. I really don't, because this is really, I've had some of the best days of my life here. So I always wanted to come to Hawaii. I always wanted to come meet you, because I remember watching you and Christina, Lauren as well, on the laptop at home as a young teenager, while my parents and my family watched news and all the negativity. I watched stuff that inspired me. So that was really, really amazing.
You got to meet Christina,
you and Lauren. So my dreams came true.
all three. See, that's what's cool. And I call that the raw effect. That when you start vibrating at a higher frequency, you just start attracting things like that automatically.
Yes. Yeah.
And because just when your insides change, and the food is a component in that, then you'll start magnetizing all the things to you.
You also get clear about what you really want.
Yeah. Then you send that out.
And you send that out. That's what the universe brings you back. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so there was just a couple of the things I wanted to touch on, because I know that you did at some point a 21-day water fast with Lauren Lockman.
2015.
And that was in 2015. And then we didn't talk about weight loss, but obviously you must have lost some weight.
Yes, I've lost some weight there. I don't remember much of it was how many years? Many years, like 8 or 9 years ago.
Yeah.
So it was kind of just I was just starting, kind of learning about all of that, everything. So I do remember one thing, that it was really it got me thinking about what hunger actually is, because your body is not really hungry after 3 days. You're like physically completely fine and chill, just nothing, unless you have a lot of toxicity that you need to get out, and that what makes you sick during the fast. But and also of course the mental stuff. But what I remember really well was my mind thinking about food. So that's what makes us really hungry, I would say.
I know.
And
I wrote all of my classes while fasting.
I
All my food classes, so, right? It's like a great time to, if you're a chef
yes,
and you're like on day 20 of a water fast, you're like
a lot of
broiled, sauteed, marinated, braised.
I know
you
all the childhood, the best tasting foods that I love to think about them. So it's like the
As
processing.
I think as it's cleaning out of you,
as
right?
it's cleaning out,
You're
and
like, oh.
also I realized that, you know, I don't believe that our bodies crave junk. I really believe that our bodies want the best food, the most vital food. So if it's not my body craving this junk, who is it? What is it?
I mean, what would your guess be? Because I could
I know,
say.
I know.
What would
It's
you
the
say?
microbiome, parasites, and everything that is there because of the imbalance in the gut.
That wasn't the answer that I thought
Okay,
of, but
that
then,
was me.
but no, but that is true also. But then there's the mind, just the conditioned mind of the soft, chewy, sweety, salty, flavorful. Because you can watch yourself, like you can go, okay, this is a banana, and there's just like, it's like this. Now take a banana, dip it in chocolate, and put some nuts on the salted nuts on the outside, and then freeze it. It's
Takes you to a
you
different
know,
level,
so
right?
what that's, and then all the chemicals, like you were saying earlier, in the food, it just at the Chinese restaurant with the MSG just popping your neurons
Yes.
like a party in your head. You know, it's like 4th of July in your brain and your neurons, and you get used to that.
Yeah, the brain and body adapts really well to what you eat. So to transform that, to change something, it's gonna take that transitioning period of when that brain and body doesn't want to give it up because that's what it's used to getting. So that's hard. But then when you get through that, then it's easier. Also, after my juice fast in 2022, I realized that getting the mucoid plaque out was really helpful for me, because mucoid plaque is what parasites and those that you know bad bacteria feeds off. So getting that out was really helpful on physical side, because the water fast kind of helped me mentally to see what's going on with the food and how we really want to eat while we're not even hungry, because I could go, you know, my body obviously could go for even longer than 21 days on this reserves and so
On the water.
on water.
So you did a water fast, and that I want to explain something real quick, what I think,
Sure.
because the water fasting kind of cleans out the microcapillaries and sort of resets the brain. The neurons in the brain actually repair, and then you're like, oh, this cabbage by itself tastes good. But when you're on the zippity bop, I call it, you know, it's got to be cabbage with flavors and additives, and you know, and so the brain reset with the water fasting. It resets the brain and clears the energy body. But then when you did the juice fasting, that's why this whole thing is more of it's like a systematic detoxification where there's no one right way. You have to combine. And that's kind of what you did in a more long, drawn out sense, with slowly changing the diet, a 21-day water fast, and then high raw. And then finally the big move, the biggest thing you said, and I stopped you because I didn't want to know, was that you did a 24-day juice cleanse.
Yes, 20.
And
that was 2 years ago. So after water fast, you know, I realized, you know, it's the mental game that we do with the hunger, but I still would overeat and eat too much. I would be conscious about what I eat, of course, but I would eat still too much, and those cravings, I just couldn't handle that. So one beautiful day I found out about mucoid plaque and juice fasting and how that could help remove mucoid plaque. If anybody doesn't know what mucoid plaque is, it's the all the substances in cooked food that we eat that create lining on the gut that hardens and prevents absorption of nutrients and everything else, and that's what bacteria and parasites feed on. So feed off. Okay. So getting that out during juice fast was really, really helpful for me, because those cravings actually are not there that much anymore. It's I could definitely see what comes from me wanting to numb my feelings, and me not really being it me that craves the stuff that I really didn't want to eat. So now I'm able to I don't really crave the cooked food that much anymore after that juice fast. I have to say that. So that's why I say physically juice fast was even more beneficial for me than the water fast. Water fast was really mental game changer, but physically the juice fast and removing mucoid plaque. There was one thing, I know this is a nasty talk about mucoid plaque and stuff, but mucoid plaque was covered with patches of white candida. I knew I had candida, and getting that out was really, really good for me. So
were you craving carbs
a lot
before the okay?
Of course.
So candida,
cooked,
baby.
Cooked bread.
Oh
yeah. So it was really bad. So I knew that, and that was really, really helpful to get it out. I was, I got my Nama J2. I prepared for the juice fast. I had to work still, so I would drink lots of juice, 4 to 6 jars a day. A lot of juice.
4 to 6
jars.
32 ounces.
Mason jars, big jars, yeah.
And did you use any herbs or?
Oh yeah, it would be mostly lemon ginger blast, my version, not your version, because you just showed me different way to make lemon ginger blast. So I try to drink 2 to 3 or 4 lemon ginger blast, and then 1 or 2 pineapple or orange juice, because pineapple and citrus juices have a lot of astringents, I think that's what it's called, which pulls out the toxicity and all the junk from the cells and colon and that. So I think that was the best thing. That's the best thing you can drink during the juice fast. A lot of astringent rich foods.
So it was the juices then that just pushed it all out?
I think what happened is I was ready to go as long as I needed to juice to remove mucoid plaque. I did it with that intention to remove mucoid plaque, because it was just another light bulb. I knew it was there. I knew I just kind of knew it. So that was my big goal, to get that out. And I was ready to go even 90 days if I needed to go that long.
So you're saying that it just came out?
Yes. The thing is, after two weeks of juicing, I felt like something told me to start using the psyllium husk and clay. And I learned about that people use that during juice fast, and that kind of pulls everything, takes the mucoid plaque and sucks it out, kind of, I would say, I don't know. But the thing was that after 14 days, I realized that I was ready to use that, and I think my body was really ready to release it, since I just ate high raw vegan anyway, so it was pretty hydrated and ready to go. Because I heard many people have to go through multiple juice fasts of 90 days and more to get it out. So I didn't know what to expect, and was very surprised that after 2 weeks, just 2 weeks, pounds and pounds of mucoid plaque came out. So that was really, really surprising for me to see. So I continued my juice fast till 24 days, and after those 24 days, I felt like I was done.
So just straight juice, or with the psyllium husk?
The juice. So at the beginning of the juice fast, I used a lot of Puridan products, enzymes and Herbalife, herbal blood for parasites, and enzymes, herbal blood, and cleanse. So first one in the morning, I would do cleanse with juice, then enzymes.
With the lemon ginger blast?
Yes, every single jar that I had was had some kind of Puridan product with it. So cleanse in the morning, and then.
So was that from the very beginning?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
From
And then
the
so then
beginning of
2 weeks later, it started. That's when it started to come out.
Yes, from
so.
the beginning of the juice fast, I used Puridan products, and Puridan products I've been using for many years since I think it's been like 8 years that I've been using them. Since I was in UK, actually, I would order them, have them shipped to UK. But now during this juice fast, I use them at the beginning during those 2 weeks. Cleanse, enzymes, herbal blood, and there was one more.
What?
I think probiotics.
MSM?
Oh, MSM, yes. Probiotics I used after juice fast. So MSM, these four I had with my 4 juices, because I knew I could drink at least 4.
Do you
a
think
day.
that softened up the mucoid plaque even more?
I think that's one of the reasons why it took me only 14 days to get it out.
Oh, so it was 14 days, and then you had the mother load came out. Okay. Well, they keep looking at the camera because it already came up on the 20%. So
I
the 10% is going to come up soon, and then but we're doing pretty good. But the last 10% goes the quickest. And then so 21-day water fast. So this is a healing journey lasting about since 2009. That's when I started the YouTube. So that would be 15 years. So that means that you started thinking about getting healthy, went more, just kind of thought about it for a few years, tried a lot of experiments.
Research.
Went more on the plant-based in 2012.
Yes.
2015 did a 21-day water fast.
Yes.
Connected more with the spirit, cleared your brain a little bit. The brain, love the fasting for the brain. That's why I fast so much, is one day this thing's gonna work fully.
I've done many 1 to 3 day water fasts, even 7, many of those, but I couldn't get past those 7 days. So I knew I had to go to somewhere. I went to Costa Rica to do that.
Yeah.
And that was great, but physically I think juice fast and those Puridan products and removing mucoid plaque was really a game changer for me.
Okay, and then when was the 24-day water or 24-day juice cleanse?
June 2002, so a couple of years ago.
Okay, and then since then
it's just
even
been
better, higher raw?
Yes. Since
Cool.
then, it's just I've been able to manage my cravings much better, and it's been gradually, slowly going down, because before that it was just like up and down, with the cravings, and sometimes more cooked food, sometimes more raw food. So, but still eating too much for some reason. I couldn't get it.
Yeah.
So after that juice fast, and probably nourishing myself with enzymes as well, and that was probably good, since the food is not that high quality anymore. Doesn't have many enzymes. Anywhere.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, so enzymes, it's always nice to have some enzymes, more enzymes, to break things down and build up as well. So that was very helpful, my juice fast. And since then, yeah, like I said, it was really steady weight loss, even better after that.
And you like your present weight, or you have future goals?
I have future goals of just tightening up a little bit, and still, I think just building more muscle
Yeah.
And tightening up is what I would like, but I think I'm the happiest I've ever been with my goals.
Good.
I am really.
So you're working on your
Good place.
fitness. I think you're working on your sleep.
Yes, I'm working
Yeah.
on my sleep. That's a big, huge part of the health journey. I really have to nail that. I feel really much better when I go sleep early, before those midnight hours, and getting that restorative brain hours.
So
Sleep.
you've got the before and after shot is that she showed me. I mean, you're just like, wait a minute, that is a totally, completely different human being. So the diet and the lifestyle and the thinking and all the work that you've done, is it's commendable, and it's a lot of hard work. And that's why I really respect you and appreciate you, because I know that you do the work. And I know that you've done the work, and if you don't do it, you can't do it, and
There's
it's
no
a constant. Yeah, there's no biohacking.
There's no cheating.
We've
You have
agreed.
to do the work.
They say biohacking. Let's hack life. It's like you really got. I call it just alignment with the law,
Yeah.
or alignment with the laws. It's like you have to sleep. You know what I mean? And I try to, because I've had to learn too how to be self-care, to really care for yourself, to realize that sleep, the food, the exercise, the positive thinking, trying to diminish the critic and clear your mind and try to block out the stinking thinking when the demons start attacking you from the childhood and stuff.
I wouldn't say block out, really. Try to understand it and love it and see the reason why it's happening. That was really big for me, to love all the parts that I rejected and pushed away. So learning about emotions and healing and integrating those parts that were pushed away give me much more power to be healthy and stay on course as well. But also after that, I mean, this journey was really about also getting in touch with my femininity, because I resented that a lot with all these period pains and have such hard time being a woman. I really, really, really hated that. And so getting healthier in that way got me into feeling more in touch with myself, making it okay for me to be a woman and not having those pains. It's so amazing to just not even knowing that you're on a period. Physically, of course, mentally you have a lot of traumas, of course, to deal with, and that's okay. Just managing it better and knowing what emotions are, not being afraid of it. It's really, so it's a whole
I
package.
really appreciate that, because that's why I appreciate what you've been teaching me, is more of that, because I know that as a meme in my head of like, oh, accept all those parts, but then I'm more of like a drill sergeant on
Yes,
myself and others, like, come on, soldier, get up, do this, and then she's more like that feminine side. So I do appreciate that, because I have a lot of masculine and it can be overly intense, and then I'm just
bulldozing. You really bulldoze some of. And
I know that I do need to chill, but when I do chill, I get a little uncomfortable, so I kind of have to look at that a little bit.
Well, I mean, you still, I have to say, you deal with emotions, and your emotional intelligence is much higher than many people I've ever met. You are able to be there for people, understand, and just be curious about that. Many people get defensive and are not able to have conversation about what is going on inside them. So I have to say, whatever you do, keep doing that.
Well, I just think that, I don't want to like drop into my feminine full time or anything, but there are times when I do get time to get away, that I do want to use some of the things you've taught me to just sort of allow that. And that's what happens for me when I fast, when I start eating and stuff, and I'm going to yoga every day and doing 9,000 dogs and the weights and the running and the like Mr. Energizer Bunny, right? And so when I fast, I can slow down a little bit and then untie some of those knots, you know, that are to help me, because I like the masculine. I'm good at it, and then God made me a man,
Yes.
you know, and I want to be good at that, but also at the same time, when it comes to the emotional healing and letting go of the knots that bind the heart, which, before I forget, by the way, you said the microbiome, and I said the mind, and then I came up with the theory that we need to eat from the heart. You know what I mean? And when I do that, I feel better. When I eat from the heart, it's usually very, very simple. Like I'm just nourishing this and nourishing this without stimulating this or giving into this. The microbes that are like, hey, I don't have a lot of, you know, I don't have any cravings for anything really, but the savory stuff kind of knocks me down after a long day of high masculinity, you know. So anyhow, we've been having a kind of food parties and stuff. It's been kind of nice, because normally I'm a Mr. Drill Sergeant, so to have somebody to party with, because it's like we're chilling and it's like, okay, I see the foodies coming out, the ex-food addicts, like we get all excited. Oh my God, it's amazing.
The thing is, this is raw food, and it's just, you know, you do fill yourself up, but it's gone after an hour. So it really digests really fast, and all these Puridan products that we've been eating, there's not as much of the damage done than with normal kind of food. So
I mean, yeah, if our worst thing is too much salad,
yeah, right,
you know,
or
with coconut yogurt dressing,
basil pesto.
That's her favorite. The pine nut basil, we still got a little bit of that, but there's a million recipes. But the best food is just the plain ass stuff that you don't need to do anything to. But that doesn't make very good videos, which is when I'm here by myself in my little yogi mode. But then it's like, hey, here's some bananas. How do you make a video out of that? There's no content, so people think I just live off of like Puridan dressings or something like that. But you know, I can do the juices, but they're pretty much all the same. You know, the lemon ginger blast, we just made that today, and then just mostly coconuts. That's our main favorite.
A lot of coconuts,
right?
And juices, and wheatgrass with coconut water. Yeah. That was really good.
The first one blasted your microbes, and then the second one was no problem, right?
The first one I got a little nauseous. Second one was perfectly fine. So that's good. Yeah, your fridge is really full of juices and coconut water, and what else is there? Purified distilled water.
Yeah.
And lots of yogurt.
And a healthy lifestyle, and it's just so many different things.
Coconut almond yogurt.
That really I see, because I talk to people every day, and so many people are having a hard time in this world. But I think that the only way I can say it is like, if I can do it, Mr. Trailer Park, I mean, I still wear a wife beater and talk a little weird sometimes, but if I can do it, anyone can do it. You know, where you have to be persistent. You have to keep hammering on it. You have to love yourself and have a vision for your life. And I have this top of the mountain kind of vision with health, but then you learn it's not just this, it's also this, and in the end it's really more importantly this, untying this thing and living from that, but not necessarily the organ that we call the heart, but the core, like the heart being like the essence, or just living for the source and connecting to that as much as possible, and then like eating from the source, because the source is already fulfilled in and of itself, and it knows it has this physical organism which doesn't necessarily need stimulation or sensory pleasure, which then wears it out, and then disorganizes the organism's ability to connect to the source. And it's the source that's the happiness and the joy and the bliss that we all seek. And when we imbibe in pleasures, we temporarily feel that once the initial desire is over. But then so we have a moment of peace, but then the next desire crops up. And when we live from the source as our desire just to be present and aware with the fact that we're aliveness itself, you know, that's I found that to be more satisfying. Of course, I love the food. I mean, I'm still like, food is still the one thing that's, you know, I use it, you know, for modulation, I call it, you know, and I've made a lot of improvements, because what I used to think was healthy and raw, I would take a whole thing of unsoaked almonds. This was back in the RV days. I'd take a whole bag of unsoaked almonds, pour them into the food processor and grind that up. But now that I soak and sprout, and I understand that it's the water that really helps things to absorb and utilize and keeps it all hydrated in there, so that that mucoid plaque, which is like a waxy rubber that not only builds up in the gastrointestinal tract, but through the pipes in your body stretch from here to the moon and back 7 times. And so we're looking at, like, how are you going to do that? And then you think, okay, distilled water, I'm just going to live off that until all of it works as a solvent. And then you step down from there, okay, orange juice, watermelon, and then you go down, and then the yogurts and stuff are more for stability, hormones. And then again, you know, we've definitely kind of been overdoing it, but it's been a party up in here for sure. But you know, if you do that kind of thing once or twice a week, that's where you're getting those aminos and not in excess. But we don't need to, I mean, it's like we already said, if your biggest sin is partying with big salads with pesto, too much pesto, you know, then cut yourself a break, but keep staying on the path of your highest, because you'll go all the way to like breatharian, you know.
It's still, you know, like I said, life is not perfect, and we are here to have fun as well, but to not see food as entertainment, but something that feeds your body and nourishes your body. That was really important for me to separate, to not see food as entertainment, get entertained with something else, not with putting trash in your body. that was or not just trash, but too much food. You have to distinguish between eating to cope with something and numb yourself with food, and eating because you're nourishing your body. So those two were important for me to separate.
But the bonding is cool though too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's an important part. You can't say this or that, you know what I mean? Like, this is bad, this is right, this is wrong. It's a matter of context and like what your intentions and your goals are, because I know both of us are here to be the absolute best we can be.
Anything I talk about is never 100%. It's like 90 at least, you know. So like having fun with salads and raw vegan dressings that I usually never make.
Listen, I'm short of friends, okay? So I gotta stuff somebody. I gotta have somebody's stomach to party with, because otherwise there's no point in me making the fancy stuff. I just take the little basic, plain, simple stuff. But it's been a great time having you here, and I hope that you learned something.
I learned so much, a lot about sleep, because you're like you said, drill sergeant, 8 o'clock, okay, sleep, get up 3:30, but no, I sleep more than that. But I learned a lot about sleep. Raw foods definitely vital. Fresh foods, how to chop coconuts. I tried my first durian. I loved it. I finally tried durian.
And a good sour sop.
Good sour sop.
What else?
I always wanted to go to Hawaii. I always wanted to. So this is my dream come true, of course. And I love the mountains. The most of everything, I love the mountains. I'm just looking at them right now. And meeting you, for sure, dream come true.
Can you dig it? That was awesome.
I think
that was really, really awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
And I would really appreciate it if you would give Katerina a thumbs up and a nice comment down below. And if you have any questions,
it's not possible to cover everything. So any questions that come up,
I'm sure there's a lot of details, but I think we got the essence of it. Like, clean yourself up with the water fasting and the juice fasting, and don't get too stuck on this is the one right way, because a lot of teachers, he'll be like, well, he makes his money from water fasting, so that's the only way. And this guy makes his money from juice fasting, so that's the only way. And then this guy, he makes his money in another way.
Do your research and take whatever resonates with you from everybody that you learn from?
I think the real true source of healing is the source itself. And you know, this is the $1 million information that I give away for free, which is the more you seek the self, you know, the more you'll be in tune and guided by a really divine intelligence, and you'll begin to understand the difference between the conditioning and the subtle. And that's why the meditation's so good, and the raw food vitalism, waking up the system, and then anything you can do to get clearer and brighter as it pertains to the food or the drugs or the relationships or the environment. And everyone's dealing with a different thing. So the cities can make you kind of numb and make you forget. And so nature is always the answer. But even if you're in the middle of a city, the source is always in you. The lightless light is in you, that stillness.
Yes. Getting back to yourself, who you were before you were born and conditioned and socialized and made to believe everything that you were not supposed to believe. So it's like peeling onion, getting back to yourself, peeling all this conditioning and getting back to source, who you were before. Getting back to the light in her eyes. Getting back to the light in yourself. And that was a really great video. I wish we could keep going. There's kind of a few things, but we went to when we get to the 10% mark, which we just hit, then the 20 lasted for like 25 minutes, from 20 to 10, but 10 goes quick, the last 10%. So leave your questions down below, and maybe we'll do something over Zoom. But how can we get a hold of you? I can put your contact stuff down below. You're doing beauty programs and you're doing counseling and all. Yes,
health coaching.
With health coaching and learning about emotions and understanding them. Also, I'm creating beauty products about how I made myself look the way I look, since I didn't look this way and like this.
Yeah, with I mean, you should, it's great, like the before and after, and then she shows me her thing, and she actually did it on me, and it's actually working.
The whole beauty routine
with the face massage and the lymphatic and the whole thing.
So
don't want to give away all your secrets, but it works. Look at me.
That's okay. So I have accounts, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube that I'm working on more now, that you can reach out to me there and follow me there. And any questions you have, of course, don't hesitate to ask.
Cool. I'll put all of the contact info. I'll leave all mine off and just put hers down below this video, so you can go, you know, see her Instagram, and she does some cool stuff on Facebook, and
Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube.
And YouTube is starting to take off too, because they took away your last one, you know, because it's like they're against beauty now. It's like, God, you can't talk about anything. Politically correct. So anyways, thanks everyone for watching this video. I really hope that you get healthy, that you learn something, and that you're truly blessed in every aspect of your life. Can you dig it?
Thank you.
Aloha.
Aloha.